Since the dawn of time, man has pushed forth for new fabrics to help them survive in hostile conditions, to conquer new lands and expand their empires. From the time of the Mongols to the peak of Mount Everest, we have used the top fabrics to survive. Now we can push the fabrics to new limits with the power of nanotechnology. All fabrics we have invented today came from the fabrics our ancestors found years ago. Even at the top of Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary used merino wool to protect his expedition from the elements of cold and led the first men to conquer the top of the world.
Some uninhabitable places are Antarctica, the Sahara Desert, most of Greenland, most of Alaska, the Siberian Steppes, the North Pole, and most of Australia. Most of these places are uninhabitable because they are too hot or because they are too cold.
Climatothermal Technology is a company that produces heat-variable clothing. Climeo takes nanofibers and weaves them into merino wool. When the temperature goes up, the nanofibers turn into a liquid form. The nanofibers are encased in shells so that the clothing doesn't get damp. When the environment gets cold, the nanofibers turn solid. This keeps the wearer warm. Climeo can't keep you warm in Antarctica in a t-shirt, but it might be the difference between being hot and cold in Minneapolis.
Outlast material is made of heat-sensitive gel balls inside of fabrics meant to keep a person warm or cold, depending on how much heat their body is giving off. These spheres chemically absorb extra heat that one's body gives off and stores it in the balls. When the body is cold, the heat is returned to the body. This technology is used in some ski and snowboard equipment. Our team took a trip to REI and interviewed Brett, a sales representative. He said that Outlast was used in some ski boots, glove liners, and sports socks, and is not its own brand of clothing. He thought that it was a good idea, but that there were similar fabrics that were just as effective.
Nanotex has been making new clothes using nanotechnology that have amazed people everywhere. They make clothes that keep people at a comfortable temperature and are stain resistant. The company licenses textile mills all over the world and provides them with the chemistry to enhance fabrics. The first step is to clean and scour the fabric to get the pH levels low. Once properly cleaned, it is then processed through a chemistry mix in tanks, which includes hydrophobic polymers. It is then run through pads that press the mix into the material. The last step is to send the fabric through heated dryers that cure the treatment. Nanotex permanently changes fabrics at the molecular level. Nano whiskers that are applied to the fabric are 100 millionth times smaller than a grain of sand. Last year, 20 million garments had Nanotex enhancements, with the market only growing.
Our objective is improved temperature variable clothing. Our solution is storing water and heat. Our project is called Kelvin, for the ultimate in scientific temperature technology. There are two kinds of materials in two different kinds of nanoshells. There are also nanobots in the fabric. The first material is a chemical that absorbs and stores water for later use. This will be encased in a nanoshell that's slightly porous. When you wash the fabric or when it rains, the nanoshell will absorb water. Then it will store the water. When it becomes too hot, the nanoshells will dissolve. The microscopic amounts of water will then hit your skin. This will cool you off. There is a type of chemical that can store heat inside a nanoshell. When a lot of cold hits this type of nanoshell, it will decay. Then the heat energy will escape and warm you up. Over time, the nanoshells will dissolve. That's why there will be inactive nanobots that activate when they sense large amounts of the nanoshell particles. When they activate, they will absorb the ambient particles and create new nanoshells. When you run into water or heat, the nanoshells will recharge and you will have a fully charged piece of clothing. Our solution will be renewable, it will work well, it will be easy to repair, and it will be amazing. Kelvin is the future.
The Kelvin technology is better than existing technology because it will heat and cool the body more efficiently. Nanotechnology can enhance our ability to create more adaptive clothing and help us inhabit more places. It will eventually allow human civilizations to thrive in extreme hostile environments.